Okay, very good afternoon, my dear friends. This is Dr. Padala Tirupati, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, SRR Government Arts and Science College, Autonomous Karimnagar, CPGET Free Online Coaching 2025 for Botany and Plant Sciences and Plant Biotechnology. In this regard, today's resource person, the most experienced personality, Dr. P.MANJULA Madam Garu, Assistant Professor, Department of Botany, Usmania University, Hyderabad. Madam is going to explain today about the ecological succession. It is a most important topic. So, without ecological succession, there is no question in other competition. So, listen carefully, my dear friends. Regarding of during the class, if you have any doubt, please ask our respected madam. Madam is going to clarify your doubts. Madam, please welcome and start your session, madam.
Okay, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Manilas. So today's topic is ecological succession. So ecological succession means, so it is a gradual replacement of one community by the other. So when we observe, sometimes when we observe an area, so there is no organisms in that area. But after few years, we can observe some plants at that place. So like that, so that is a gradual change of, it is taking place in only at one area only. One specific area, when we observe that area, so sometimes we cannot observe any plants on that, but after a few years, we plant like that. So like that is a gradual replacement of one community by other communities, and later the final stage is formed, that is called as a climax community. So here the succession of here the one area, here the replacement of one community by other will takes place, and finally climax community is formed. So it is called as a ecological succession. So it is a gradual replacement of one community by the other. So otherwise, so it is a orderly process of community change in a unit area. So according to E.P. Odom, so it is a orderly process of community change in a unit area. So here, this ecological succession, it is a process of ecosystem development. So these are the different definitions given by the different ecologists. So it is a gradual replacement of one community by other in a specific area only. For example, when we observe this area, so first here this area, it is without any living organisms. Here only bare rocks are present. But after few years, so we can observe the lichens. They start to grow, they germinate and they grow. So here the growth of the organisms will be taking place. So after that, so this same area, which is again replaced by the small annual plants or lichens. So generally on the bare rocks, so generally lichens can grow. So after few years, so these lichens again, this are replaced by the small annual plants and also the lichens. So after few years, so same area again, which is replaced by the grasses and perennials. And after few years, so this same area, so again it is replaced by the other communities like grasses, here the shrubs and shade tolerant trees such as the pines. So same area again it is replaced by the other communities like that. So same area which is replaced by others, and here finally that is the climax community is formed. So when we observe this area, so there is no soil, only rocks are there and no organisms are seen at starting stage. But when at the final stage, we can observe the soil formation and also the more number of organisms, more number of plants we can observe here in the final stage. So while transforming from the same area, here the formation of the soil is also taking place, and number of organisms are increased here. So here what you call this, to make this climax community takes many hundreds of years to form this final stage. So here the formation of the forest and a bare area through ecological succession. So it takes hundreds of years to form the final or climax community. So here it is a gradual replacement of a community by the other. So here we are considering only one place, only one particular area. Here only we can observe the changes, that is gradual replacement of one community by the other, and finally here the climax community is formed. So for this it takes many hundreds of years. So it is called as the ecological succession. So it is a gradual replacement of one community by the other in a particular area. So here the community, it is an ecosystem, it is not stable. So in the community in the ecosystem which is not stable and it can be changed and which pass through many developmental stages in a definite sequence. So here generally from simple to the complex. So here next one is the types of ecological succession. So here the ecological succession which is classified into different types. So one is based on the starting point and based on the cause, and also the based on the community and based on the substratum. So here the ecological succession, it is categorized into different types. So first one is the based on the starting. So here the primary succession and secondary succession. Second one is autogenic and allogenic succession based on the cause. Next one is the based on the community, that is autotrophic community or heterotrophic community. Based on this community, that is autotrophic succession and heterotrophic succession. Another one is hydrozero and xerozero based on the substratum. If the succession which starts on the water bodies, it is called as a hydrozero. If the succession which starts on the dry habitats like rocks, so it is called as a xerozero. So primary succession. So primary succession means which starts from an area where there was no previous living matter. So here it starts this succession which starts on an area. There is no living matter previously also. So it is called as the primary succession. So example for this is rock surface or newly created pond. So first community which is establishing on this new area, which is called as a pioneer community. So here there is one area, there is no living organisms in that area. And this area, so if there any organisms like mainly lichens or phytoplanktons, generally lichens on the rocks and phytoplanktons in the water body. So they start growing. So it is called as a pioneer community, that is starting community. And the bare area, it is called as a pioneer community. So examples for this pioneer community is lichens and phytoplankton. So pioneer community means, so on the bare area, so if the new area in that first established community, it is called as the pioneer community. So when we observe this, a bare rock surface is there without any life. But after few days, so we can observe the lichens which start growing on this. So these are called as the pioneer community, and the succession which is called as a primary succession. So the first one is a primary succession. So next one is the secondary succession. So secondary succession means here which starts from previously built up substratum, that is already existing living matter. So if the this secondary succession which is occurs due to disappearance of the existing community, it is caused due to the fires or snowfall or biotic intervention. So here the first one is the primary, that is the climax community, or some communities there, but this is disturbed by fires or snowfall or other biotic interventions, due to which here the disappearance of the organisms will take place at that area. Again here thus the area becomes devoid of any living matter. So here the succession which starts on this area, so it is called as a secondary succession. So here in secondary succession, the soil is there and the seeds which are also present inside soil. So this secondary succession which is comparatively rapid process. So it is a fast growing process when compared to the primary succession. So here is secondary succession which starts already the succession is there, but due to in disturbances like fires, forest fires, or snowfall or biotic interventions. So the organisms are destroyed, and there is no living organisms in that area. If they start succession in that area, so it is called as a secondary succession. So in secondary succession, we can observe this grass sprouting because the seeds are propagules which may be present inside the soil. So they start germination afterwards. So here a grass ecosystem is there, but due to this grassland and fire, so here the bare area is formed after fire. But the propagules are seeds which are present inside the soil, so they start germination. So here a bare area after fire. So here again they start secondary succession. Here the grass sprouting. So it is a rapid process. So it will takes less time to form a climax community. So the main difference between primary succession and secondary succession is primary succession, which starts the bare area, there is no living organisms on that. Whereas the secondary succession, so it is formed after the disturbances in that area due to fires or snowfall or biotic interventions, and there is no living matter. In that area, if the succession starts, it is called as the secondary succession. Next one is the autogenic succession and allogenic succession. So autogenic succession means here after succession has begun, the community itself modify its own environment, thus causing its own replacement. So if the causes of because of due to their internally the organisms which are present inside only, so due to the modifications in that area, so due to which here the change in the environment will takes place. So thus it causes its own replacement. It is called as autogenic succession. Allogenic succession means here the replacement of the existing community by external conditions, not by the internal. So it is called as the allogenic succession. So here, for example, autogenic succession due to the growth of more number of this phytoplankton. So fish death due to the severe algal bloom. So it is autogenic succession. Whereas the fish death here due to the industrial river pollution, it is called as allogenic. So here this is autogenic means here the organisms which are present, that is algae which is present inside. This only causing the replacement of this. Here the causing the death of this fish. Whereas here the fish death is due to the what you call pollutions from the outside. So it is called as the allogenic succession. So next one is the ecological succession, which is characterized by first one is increased productivity and shift of the nutrients from one reservoir, and also the increased diversity of the organisms with increased niche development and gradual increase in the complexity of food web. So we can easily characterize the ecological succession, that is by the increased productivity and also increased diversity and complexity of food webs. So next one is the causes of ecological succession. So here the ecological, the main causes are, first one is the physical environment, second one is the natural disturbances and human disturbances, and which can result in gradual change in the physical environment or from sudden disturbance, clearing land, climatic change, or introduction of non-native species, and natural disasters such as disorders like volcanic eruptions or forest fires or hurricanes or floods. So due to which here these are the main causes for ecological succession. So why does ecological succession occurs? Because it is a process of life for plants, soil, and other living organisms. So this ecological succession is important. Why the processing? So it is a process of life for the plants, soil, and also living organisms. So because organisms alter the soil structure, chemistry, and also microclimate. So the species composition of the ecological communities constantly changes over time. So succession will continue until the environment reaches its final stage, that is the climax community. So next one is the important topic, that is the mechanism of succession. So according to Clements, The succession, it is a process involving the several phases. First one is nudation, migration, echosis, competition, reaction, and stabilization. So nudation means a process which begins with the development